Hi everyone. Today I'm here to talk to you about the ideal client for AquaTrain. So first things first, what is AquaTrain? What's the product that we're talking about here? So this is a set of online training tools targeted for those people that are pursuing a water operator certification. These are people that are already working within the water industry or they're interested in joining the water industry within the United States. There's a lot of different ages that would fall into this category. So it could be anyone that's brand new to the labor force in general, or people that have been working for many years and may be close to retirement. Traditionally, these are more blue collar workers that may or may not have a college education. They are required to pass a certification examination that requires them to learn and memorize a lot of heavily regulated content that can be really challenging to remember. These people need to be relatively proficient with technology, so they don't have to be experts by any means, but they do need to be able to navigate to a website in their browser and be familiar with basic gestures on a mobile device. Finally, these are going to be uh, people that are brand new to the water operator certification, so they may be pursuing it for the first time, as well as people that may already have their certification. They can also use this training software to brush up on their skills, stay up to date with regulation changes within the field, and really feel confident as being an expert. So the scope of this is initially narrowed to the state of Indiana, and the reason for this is because the company and this idea originated with a family member who's been working within the state of Indiana water sector for many decades. So they already have an established network. They have a reputation that's really strong, and it will help us get clients and some initial feedback. The next step would then be to grow to states that utilize only the federal regulations for their water operators. Um, and then finally, it would be to grow to all 50 states as the goal, including those that may have more state specific guidelines on top of the federal regulated guidelines for water operators. So, let's take one step back and talk about what is a water operator, what do they do, why are they important? So, these are people that treat and distribute water. They also collect wastewater and recycle it in a way that is safe and healthy for the environment and our communities. They are employed primarily by a lot of local government. They are also the same people that are responsible for making sure that we have waters within our homes, hospitals, schools, and within, the industrial sector, including factories. So if we look at the data that's been provided by the Indiana Department of Environmental Management, IDEM, we can see that there are at 10 different types of certifications that a person can obtain within the water sector. Within the state of Indiana, there are 4,268 active certifications within the last 3 years. And of those 4,268, they belong to 2,661 individuals. So this means that there are a lot of people that may have more than one certification. So, they may be the same person treating the water as well as distributing the water. Whereas in some locations, the water may go through a water treatment plant and be distributed by someone else. So taking another look at this data, we can see that over a third of these were obtained for the first time. So these were people that previously did not have this type of certification. So it may be the first one that they've achieved, or it may be that they got a secondary type of certification, but they're all brand new to that individual. And then we also see that even within March of just this year, 9% of them have already expired in 2022 and they are not currently being renewed. And so this is pretty common. There's going to be some level of natural turnover for people that may be retiring or transitioning to a different field, but this is 9% that's going to have to be backfilled over time. So what does this mean on a national level? We said that's going to be our target, is really being able to uh, have this tool be available to all 50 states. So nationally, if we keep the same type of population to certification ratio that we saw in the state of Indiana, there's an estimate of 208,000 water operator certifications just within the US, based off of the 2022 census population data. In fact, the US Bureau of Labor Statistics estimated a total of 119,350 water operators in 2022 across the entire US. And you can kind of see where they are located within this map here. And you can also see that there are some gaps even within this data, which means that there may be even more water operators than the Bureau of Labor Statistics identified. It also means that, if our 208,000 ratio holds across the US, that there's still quite a few people that have more than one certification. So going forward into the future, this is only expected to increase. This workforce within the water sector is aging at a pretty significant rate. So over the next decade, we're expecting to see over 10,000 openings for water operators every single year to replace the current workers. And this is on top of the already existing 21% turnover rate within utility companies. So there's going to be a growing need, and there are already challenges in finding proper staff and hiring them into this position. So part of the reason for this challenge is due to these examinations and the very low pass rate that they have. So as I mentioned, this is a very challenging examination for a lot of these people to be able to pass. And if we look at these numbers from one of the instructional courses within Indiana from April, you can see that the majority of these certification levels were below 50% in their pass rates. Even the water treatment level 2 was as low as 13%. So there's a need for making this content easier so that we can get more people into these qualified positions. Today, there's only one online training software that's offered in the United States for this training, and it is limited to only those states that utilize the federal regulation. So any states that may have more specific guidelines, like Indiana or California, there's no training tool to cover that online. These courses are primarily handled in person in instructional classrooms so that these people are able to get more hands-on training as well. But these courses are not even advertising a lot of times this online application as a study tool. And the application itself has some limited content within it. So it doesn't have very strong strategies that can help people, and especially adults, learn within the application. So there's a lot of room for improvement and a lot of opportunity here to help these people. So how can we get the word out that there is an online training tool available? The primary way is going to be marketing it at the national and state water convention. So this is where we're going to be able to find our ideal clients and our target market, because they are already existing in the water industry, and they are already likely professionals or connected in some way to the water network nationally. The other way would be to leverage these training courses to be able to highlight this as an opportunity for students to learn in their free time. They can learn outside of the classroom and just use it as a studying tool. After we get some initial endorsements, we can then grow our word of mouth marketing. And I think that's going to be one of the main ways that we really start to make a reputation within this network of water professionals. And finally, for those people that may or may not, attend the water conventions, or they may not be as tied into this network, For example, someone that may live in a more rural community, and so they uh, kind of are a little bit more isolated in their training. We would also have a web presence that we would hope to grow to be able to reach those people that are maybe just doing a quick Google search and trying to figure out, hey, what's out there for me when I'm trying to learn how to be a certified water operator. So a large part of this is going to be making sure that we're linking to relevant sites. We're going to hopefully get linked to from places like the American Water Works Association or EPA regulation sites. And then we're also going to serve it as a resource for um, changes and regulation updates within the industry so that people can, even if they don't use the tool, they can find our website when trying to understand updates within the field and stay up to date with best practices. If you are interested in learning more about what it means to be a water operator, more within this industry of what the data looks like, I'm happy to share these resources, and including the ones that I've used to gather today in this presentation. But with that, thank you very much for your time.